What is the penguin's favorite elephant at the zoo?
Favorite elephant?
I've already screwed it up. What is the penguin's favorite animal at the zoo?
I'm going to guess the elephant.
The umbrella-phant.
The umbrella-phant. Uh-huh.
That's going to be one of them kind of shows today. They all can't be winners, can they?
No.
No. I knew I've gotten caught on it before, but it does happen sometimes. Sorry about that. I tried. Welcome to what should have been the greatest DC comic show on YouTube, Fanboys Live and The Retro Review. We're so happy that you're here with us tonight. On behalf of Comic Food 2814, Excused Absence, and Tim the Comic Collector, Unexcused MIA, we welcome you to today's show. Joining me is Signature King Antonio. How are you doing?
Good. Still got a little sore from the con. I don't think I stretched enough, but
you probably had the most exciting week since of all of the fanboys that are here and aren't here, because you went to the Baltimore Comic Con yesterday. How was it?
Yep, and that's the big one that I do every year. So I really enjoy it. It was a little light on the talent this year, a lot of cancellations, but that's a whole other story. But what it lacked in the let me rephrase that. What happened in cancellations made up for in the people that I met in the community. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'd never met that many people before. So
you want to brag on some of the names, or do you want to hold off on that?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Southern Comic Book Geek. It was awesome. It was really nice to meet him in person.
Yeah, Jason's great.
He's a really nice guy. And Mike from Sig Slayers, Mike West, who's a giant. That guy's huge.
Yeah.
He's so tall. Again, super nice guy. Honorable Villain. He hangs out with Mike West a lot. They do a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. But those two guys are great. I can't remember this gentleman's name already. And name escapes me, but I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about.
Him.
Yeah, him. I think I met like 5 or 6 people in the YouTube community. So
that's great.
I've never met that many people before, so it was kind of fun.
What about some of the talent that you saw or met or talked to?
Jim Lee, number one. Never met Jim Lee before. That was incredible. Just to hear some of his stories. But one thing I'll say in a negative aspect of Jim Lee, like, when you get in the line, you can buy some of the goodies or whatever. There was this really awesome foil. I don't know what it is. Some kind of foil print. It was just a print. It wasn't a book. It was a metal sign. And I was like, it was a really cool character. I was like, I know someone who wants that character. I'm gonna get him to sign it. I'm gonna buy it. If it's not too much. I flip it over, $400 damn for a metal sign, and it was $60 to get Jim Lee to sign it. So $460 and you're out the door. And I was like, good God.
I mean, that's a lot of money to spend, but I appreciate you thinking of me.
And then I found this really cool Shazam book that I already had. And I was like, this one's in better shape. Let me buy it. And I'll get Jim Lee to sign this one instead. Nope. That one was $200. For something I got, online at cover price. Apparently in Jim Lee's line, it's more valuable. But I saw Jim Lee on Batman Day, so he sent a bunch of Batman stuff for me.
Yes, exactly. So that's great. Yeah. And happy Batman Day to you. Our retro review tonight, kind of half of it ties into a belated Batman, and the other half ties into the new Penguin TV series that launched. So we kind of combine the two of them together.
Yes, it's Gotham related.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Before we go any further, because I definitely don't want to forget about it, let's say hi to some folks that are joining us in the live chat. If you're watching on the Rewind, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this show. Our first in was White Tiger Cool, Calm, Collected, Moobunga, WTCCC. And White Tiger today got a Dazzler comic book.
Oh.
Yes, I know this for a fact. So we'll say hello to John's Comics with Kids. Hope that you're doing well, and happy Sunday to you. I Collect a Lot is joining us as well. It's always great to have you here. And as more, or if more people join us, we'll shout them out as well.
Yes, we will.
So my Batman day was pretty good. I went to a comic book store that I'd never been to before, but I was told I was told this is the type of store that I would like. And I walked in the door, and it took about 3 seconds for me to realize, oh, they are right. This is the type of comic book store I like.
What was it about the store that was like?
They had back issues from Silver Age on up. They had trades, they had toys, they had vintage, they had modern. They had a good selection of variant covers for the moderns and well stocked. So that's what I liked about it. So
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Is it like a square footage? Was it a big shop or?
Yeah, it was pretty decent. So
pretty decent? In a strip mall, I imagine.
Was that?
What did the store smell like?
Yeah. It didn't smell like your typical old newsprint, like how some of those smell. It didn't smell like that, but it smelled fine. There were no body odors or anything, any issues with that. So hello to Bronze Age Brian. Hope that you're doing great. Thanks for stopping by to see us. But they had so much to look through and so much to do, and their prices were fair. And I was really happy that I had the recommendation. I was really happy that I made it there, and yeah, I'll go back for sure.
I like the stores that smell like one of those 80s comics you open up. Those are the best stores.
Yeah.
They just smell like an 80s comic book.
Yeah. So that was my Batman day. It was pretty good, though.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. What's going on news-wise?
The only big piece of news that I found was the potential casting of Jon Stewart.
Okay.
His name is Aaron Pierre, and they want him for, obviously Jon Stewart. Never really seen this person in anything, so I can't really attest to their acting abilities. I mean, obviously they're in the Hollywood industry, so maybe they're good. But I can't see it only because the age is too young.
Okay.
Too young. I could be wrong, and this guy could be an absolute home run. But if it were up to me, I would pass on this person. Sticking with Green Lantern, some names have been tossed around for Hal Jordan, including Ian McGregor. I don't know why. Ian McGregor and Matthew McConaughey. I don't think.
So it definitely sounds like they really want to cast this older.
That's what I would hope. Maybe not necessarily older, but I want them to be established. You know what I mean? I don't care for an origin story. You know what I mean? I want them to already be doing whatever it is that they're doing. You know what I mean? I think that would be my preference, but whatever. They want an older Hal Jordan, which is great. But Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart are relatively the same age. One's an Air Force pilot, the other one a Marine sniper. So they're really close in age. And I would love for them to see that. I hope we get Evil Hal. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that character just has some interesting eyes. So that actor, Aaron Pierre, has got some interesting eyes. Yeah, he's obviously an African American gentleman, but he's got really light eyes. So very interesting.
Okay. Well, I saw that DC has announced a new ongoing series, a new miniseries that's coming, and a one-shot. So the new ongoing is going to be Metamorpho. He's going to get, again, his own headlining ongoing comic book, Metamorpho the Element Man. That will be coming out, scheduled for release on Christmas. The mini series that we're getting is Challengers of the Unknown, but it definitely looks more like a Justice League version of Challengers of the Unknown. It actually, to me, I'll share the screen with you, and I'm going to share the screen, and I won't say this. I'll see if you get the same vibe that I got when you first saw this image. Okay.
All right.
Your thoughts?
Oh. I don't know what to think. I don't know.
If I tell you my thoughts, you tell me if you agree with them, okay?
Okay, sure.
Pink Rangers. Do you see it?
I can see it.
Okay.
But why are they all the same color?
I don't know. I guess that's what we figure out in the miniseries.
Who did that cover? Does it say, or who did that image?
Cover by Mike Deodato Jr.
Mike Deodato. I like Mike Deodato.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever.
That's scheduled for December 18th. I think it's a 5-issue mini. So, well, here, I'll read the description, the official description to you, okay?
All right.
And I've never read this before, so this is a cold read, and I'll try to do the radio thing for you.
All right.
Spinning out of absolute power and the DC All-In Special, the terror of Darkseid Shockwave has cascaded across the DC universe, tearing open the very fabric of time and space itself. Only one band of super scientists had the right stuff to challenge the fate of a universe. Enter the Challengers of the Unknown. Alongside the Justice League, where the Challengers run day-to-day operations for the massive Watchtower base in orbit above Earth, Ace Morgan, June Robbins, Professor Haley, Red Ryan, and Rocky Davis must team with Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and the rest of the League to seal off the rifts that threaten the galaxy. But a mysterious foe from the Challengers' past lurks in the shadows, and its connection to the Godshock will put the DCU on borrowed time. How did I do?
Good. Yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. When does that DC All-In Special come out? I pre-ordered that. I don't even remember.
Probably November, I think.
November? Okay.
Yeah.
They released that early for pre-order.
Yeah. And then the one-shot that we're getting is going to be Green Lantern, Green Arrow, World's Finest Special #1. And that's coming December 18th as well.
That's very cool. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what variant covers they're going to have coming out.
You mean for those issues?
Yeah, for those issues, yeah. Especially that one shot, yeah.
Okay, hold on one moment.
Oh, does it have them?
It has some. I don't know if these are all of them or not, but it does have some.
Okay.
I think that's the main A.
Very cool.
There's another one.
Oh, I like the bow there. That's pretty nice. I like that.
And there's another one.
Awesome.
I think that's it. Nope, there's one more.
I like that.
Like the playing cards, yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes. So, I like talking about facsimiles as well. And DC has 3 facsimiles scheduled for December that have been announced. Of course, there's the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which, they've been doing every month. That will be issue number 9 that will be coming out on December 18th. We are getting Green Lantern number 59 facsimile on December 11th. And do you remember what's key about that one?
Wait, which issue is it?
Green Lantern 59.
59. Is it which volume is it?
2. So it's the Silver Age.
Oh gosh. No, I don't remember which one.
That is your first appearance of Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner, okay.
Yep. And the other facsimile that we will be getting in December will be coming out. Let's see when the release date. December 4th, we're getting Flash Comics #1 facsimile. So that's Golden Age.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Not really into the facsimiles, but I understand the draw. What I mean?
I like the facsimiles.
Because
so go ahead.
I was going to say, sometimes the facsimiles, they're good, like the one that did Batman #1. Like, that's as close as you're probably ever going to get to owning that issue.
Yeah.
So I understand to fill in that hole.
Yep.
You got to.
I Collect a Lot is asking a question about a facsimile. And I Collect a Lot, I'm going to put you temporarily on hold in answering that. But I'm going to say this. Wait to the book show portion of tonight. Maybe that answers part of your question.
Yeah.
Hey, our friend Seeking Superman is here. How you doing, Glenn? Hope you're doing fantastic. He got a nice signature as well this weekend, but that's for him to talk about. I just kind of teased it. But he posted on. He was not at Baltimore. Okay. He didn't go to the show. One of his friends did and got it signed on his behalf. Kind of like how you did for me this weekend. So
here's the book. It's right here.
Yeah. But it's posted on his Instagram if you want to check that out. So
very cool.
I did. And we're going to talk about that in just a few moments when we start into the beginning of the retro review. I'm going to mention that. So another thing I do want to mention, because I've talked about the 1982 DC Comics Style Guide facsimile, and it has been delayed again. Boo! It's the second official delay. They're saying this time, though, it's quality control tweaking. They've had some problems with the cover. And when they were printing the cover, the colors just were not matching. And they said it was a much more difficult process than they expected. But they were able to do some testing and finally got some proofs that really matched how the original one looked. So now it's bumped back about another month right now. If you look on Lunar's distribution, has it scheduled for October 2nd, but that's not an accurate date either. So it has been moved back. Probably now, I'd say to the end. I mean, I'm guessing here, if they say another month, probably the end of October, beginning of November, it will ship. So I pre-ordered. So, yeah. It's still coming. So I'm just looking forward to it actually getting here.
Someday.
Yeah, someday. Hopefully someday soon. But I think that's news-wise the majority of what I had to say. I guess we could... Oh, hey, our friend J Hood Comics is here with us, too. Hope you're doing good.
Good. Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have one of those anymore either. I've got several things of media that are saved on formats that I can't play them on right now, but I understand the pain there. I've never had a style guide. I've seen some of the images from it, so I'm excited to have this actual book. But I guess jumping back to what Brian had mentioned, the first episode of The Penguin dropped. It dropped on Thursday, but typically it's going to be having new episodes on Sunday nights. So the next episode 2 will be a week from today. You probably didn't get a chance to watch it, did you? Because getting ready for... Okay, I did watch it. So I'll be very non-spoiler here. It's a good setup. It's definitely dark, but you know where this is spinning off from, what movie this spins off from, and that was a dark movie as well. This isn't a penguin that you want to mess with. This is a tough dude.
I heard Colin Farrell knocked it out of the park.
He's very good. So they introduce another character that looks like is going to be pretty significant with the penguin. And I don't know if this is a character that's in the comics or not. So I have to do some research on that. If it is, it's a character that I'm not familiar with. So, but the fact that this kicked off is part of the reason why I chose our retro review tonight. So technically it's the Penguin is the theme of the retro review, but since Batman Day was yesterday, and I know I'm wearing the Joker shirt, but it's the only Batman shirt I have. So together, you and I, Tony, are our world's finest.
World's finest.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of chose the retro review tonight as the topic. A belated Batman Day, and then also to throw some recognition to the Penguin. Man, there was a time that, the villains wouldn't have their own headlining TV series or headlining movie or what have you, but times have certainly changed since then. So
that's true.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I decided. And if you want to pop up the assist, if you want me to get started, I can.
No problem.
So I decided, of course, since I love the Bronze Age of comic books, that I'm going to do a story with Batman and the Penguin. I remember seeing this cover for the very first time in my life as a little Magic Lasso. I was at a grocery store, and I was going through the comic books to see what they had. And I saw that cover, and I was like, now, isn't that a great cover?
It is. Who did this? Oh, there it is.
Jim Aparo.
Yep.
Yeah, Jim Aparo. So I was like, yep, got to have that one.
What year did this come out?
1980.
1980? Wow.
Yeah.
This would have been a birthday comic for me.
Oh, okay.
Had I been alive in 80. Okay.
Okay. So the story starts out after that ad. Our splash page here are three men that have broken out of prison. They're kind of wondering who blew a hole in the wall. They say, I really don't care, as long as we're able to get out of here. And then one of them looks up and goes, oh no, it's a shadow. And who would it be but the Batman? He's already there. And Batman is thinking, he's already been helping with this, cleaning up this operation of this prison break for almost 2 hours now. And he's starting to feel a little trifle wasted. He says there are 2,200 desperate men doing time in Gotham Pen, for a lot of whom I put there, and I've been running into a lot of familiar faces here tonight. But it's not the faces I've seen that are bothering me, he says. What's bothering me is how it's the familiar faces I haven't seen. So he's able to capture these guys and turn them back over to the warden. And all of a sudden, Commissioner Gordon's there, and with Warden Phelps, and one of the police officers runs out to say that inmate number 23147 is gone. And Batman's like, it's the Penguin. And they're like, that's right, Batman. He caused the mass breakout by blowing a hole in the wall with some smuggled in explosives, then slipped away by knocking out a guard and stealing his uniform. So Commissioner Gordon says, oh, good heavens, we better get back to Gotham at once. There's no telling what this lunatic is up to. And Batman says, no need to hurry back, Commissioner. The Penguin's not going to Gotham. He's heading somewhere else. And he's like, well, how do you know that? And he turns around and Batman has already taken off. And Commissioner Gordon expresses his frustration, how he hates it when he does stuff like that. So Batman gets in the Batcopter, and he's thinking, the prosecutor's office finally won a conviction by allowing 4 of the Penguin's henchmen to plead guilty to lesser offenses for turning state's evidence. And when the henchmen got out, they all fled to Star City to start their lives over. But Penguin swore he would kill them all off if he ever got out. So he's like, Penguin never forgets. So now we cut over to the Penguin in his headquarters in Star City. And he's got some of his thugs and associates around. And they're saying to him, hey, Penguin, you want to pay me and the boys to help you ice the 4 clowns whose testimony sent you up the river? That's fine. But still, my gang and I still give the orders. Do you understand? And he's not taking that. He's like, I am in charge here. And he, with his umbrella gun, fires off a shot and kills the man right there. And he's like, you're grateful to even be working for me to take over your gang. And frankly, you've been overwhelmed by the weighty underworld's responsibility. So he's showing the rest of the gang, I'll kill you if you don't do what I want you to do. And he's asking them if they have any problem with this new transfer of power, and everyone else is like, nope, no problem at all. And he goes on to say, he's quoting Shakespeare, small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast. And he says, we got to get out of here. We got to tidy up this place in order to make room for my new canaries. And they're like, your new what? So then we go through a few pages of ads. And shortly, Penguin shows him. He literally means canaries. And he says, and they're all singing and it's driving some of the crooks kooky. And he says, these lovely songbirds will serve as an enchanting inspiration to us all. And they're like, they will? And he's like, of course. He's like, in the underworld, an informer is sometimes known as a canary who sings to the authorities. And therefore, what could be more fitting, gentlemen, than for me to employ canaries as the instrument of my vengeance against Batman and my 4 former associates? Now we're cutting over in Star City to a very posh night spot where Betty Butler is getting ready to perform. She's known as the Divine Miss B. So obviously this is their version of Bette Midler. And in there is Dinah Lance, the lovely brunette who is secretly the Black Canary. And she's there with her friends to take in the show. And the Divine Miss B hits the stage and starts singing People Who Love People, the Barbra Streisand song. And then while that's happening, this man starts like foaming at the mouth and passes over and keels over, and there's all this commotion. They say, turn on the lights, and as they do that, Dinah looks over and she sees what she thought originally was a blind man scurrying to the exit, and she's like, as she looks closer to him, she realizes it's really the Penguin, and he's in Star City. So she has to make an excuse to her girlfriend. She says, some of that gas that's floating around that table, it's making me feel nauseous, so I need to go into the ladies' room. But what she's really doing is running into the back alley and putting on her Black Canary wig and her Black Canary outfit, and starts heading looking for the Penguin. So as the Penguin's getting ready to get in his vehicle, I believe the person that he took out was one of his former henchmen. So he's already gotten one of the 4 that he vowed revenge on. Black Canary arrives and starts fighting the thugs. She says somebody ought to be reminding you that when penguins wander out of their cages into warmer climate like this one, they're going to be put on ice fast. But she gets conked on the head and is knocked out. And they're getting ready to shoot her in the head when all of a sudden a batarang flies around and knocks the gun out of their hands. So Batman is there. His instinct of him showing up in Gotham City is correct. And as he flies down, Penguin uses his umbrella again that's loaded with poison gas. And he flashes it at Black Canary to allow him some time to get away while Batman's tending to her. So he's able to use some gadgets. I think he's got like an oxygen mask or something that he uses for Black Canary to make sure that she's okay. And she comes to, and she's surprised to see him here in Star City. And Batman explains exactly what went down. And he says, I need to find these 4 men. And she says, it's 3 men that are on that list because he killed one inside of that nightclub. And she says, you know what? I'm going to help you. It's been a long time since the 2 of us worked together, and frankly, I missed it. There's only 3 other people, so we can split up a little bit and try to figure out where he's going to go. And she says, I don't know any of them personally offhand, but I know who to go to ask. So she goes in, and she has Batman wait outside, and she goes in to this informant, so to speak, someone who knows the underground here and there, shady as all can be. She busts through the door, and she's scaring him a little bit, saying, I need some information on where these people are. And at first he tries to play dumb with her, that he doesn't know anything that's going on. But unbeknownst to Black Canary, Batman opens the door and stands behind her, so he sees a glimpse of him, and that intimidates and frightens him, but she never is privy to the fact that he's standing behind her, and she gets the information that she needs. So now she knows and has told Batman where all of these guys are located at. And he says, hey, it's your city, you take the lead. And she says, oh, you're so... It's so nice to be working with someone like you that, not like... Essentially, she's saying Green Arrow and his faults of being a temperament. Someone who doesn't have the macho temperament like a certain green-clad archer I could name. So next we go about 10 blocks away. It looks like it's a pawn shop, and this old lady, but take a good look at her nose, comes in, and she is trying to pawn off this family heirloom of a wind-up singing canary. And when she goes to show him how it operates, it's obviously a bomb. She slips away, and we realize that was really the Penguin in disguise, dressed up as this old lady. And now Penguin's taken out half of the 4 people that sent him up the river. So Penguin wants to go back to their headquarters. Batman and Black Canary arrive afterwards to see what's going on. Now they realize there's 2 left. We're going to split up. You take one, I'll take the other. And that way we'll have the situation covered. And back at the headquarters, the gang is asking Penguin, well, which one are we going to get right now? And he says, neither, because I've decided to hold both of them in the time being while I target Batman instead. Some hours pass, and Batman's staking out the Skid Row flophouse that he believes that one of the guys are in. And all of a sudden, he realizes someone's sneaking up on him. And he's shocked at first, and it's Black Canary. He's like, why aren't you staking out the other place like we talked about? She's like, well, I got there too late, and he's already dead. And she says, well, it's funny how when the canaries are massive statues made out of concrete and someone drops one off of the edge and it lands on your head, it kills you. She's saying that's how the other one died. And Batman's like, oh, he's frustrated. And he's like, well, this is our last chance to get Penguin. And Canary says, well, I'm scared. And she starts to lean up against his chest. And she's flirting with him. And she's giving implications like she would like to stir the spaghetti sauce. And then all of a sudden, Batman grabs a hold of her with a neck hold. And he's like, I've got better things to do, and I can't afford to have you hanging on my neck while I do them. And it looks like he kind of ties Canary up, and it's kind of like, you're like, what's going on? But as we cut into the next page, there's the real Black Canary in her underwear, bound and tied. Batman breaks in, and he starts fighting the gang. He realizes that it wasn't the real Black Canary because when she got close enough, he knows that Black Canary wears a blonde wig. Most people don't know that. And he could see this woman's blonde roots. So he knew that that wasn't the real Black Canary. And now that he's found the hideout where they're at, and he starts defeating the guys, and, you know, there's a lot of back and forth fighting between the gangs and Penguin as well. And Canary warns him to look out. And she actually takes her chair and is able to knock him off course. So when he goes to fire his umbrella, it doesn't hit Batman. And Batman kind of biff, bow, pow, zap, wham, and takes Penguin out. And he puts his bat cape around her so she's all covered up. And she says, liberated ladies aren't supposed to say things like this, Batman, but you know what? And he says, what? And she says, you're my hero, and gives him a little kiss on the cheek. And that's the end of my story.
Very interesting.
I had not reread that one in quite some time.
It's a doozy.
It is.
It's a doozy. Let me pop this bad boy up here.
So tell us about what issue you picked and why.
So I picked this one, because I think it's my favorite Penguin story of all time. And
okay.
Two, it doesn't like feature Batman a whole lot. In fact, it does the opposite. At this point in time in New 52, Batman is gone. He's missing. So this is the Penguin in the absence of Batman, when he's allowed to just do whatever unchecked, and he knows he's unchecked. So we really get to see how corrupted this person is and how high his corruption goes. So here we have, we start things off in the Iceberg Casino, and he's telling about the time last week a Japanese individual came in and won like $1 million, and he was okay with that. And the week before that, a week after that, an old lady came in and won $400,000, and he still had no problem with that. In fact, he hand delivered the money, and she wanted a picture with him, so he got his picture taken with this old lady of him taking his money, and he had no problem with it. Cut to today, there's a couple of people clearly cheating, and they're up $35,000. And he says, I definitely have a problem with that. Big problem. So they're doing some really old Vegas-style card counting, I imagine, or having the old sleeve up there, or the cards up the sleeve. And they're just casually counting their money. And they're approached by, I can't remember the young lady's name, but part of Penguin's crew. And they said, hey, you guys need to follow me. It's very important, and the Penguin would like a word with you. He kind of runs the joint here. So they follow them back there, and sure enough, it's the Penguin. And he's like, listen, I'm going to make you guys a deal. Turn in the money you made at the casino. Give me all that money back. You just walk out the front door. And you never return. That's it. No problem. And they say, or one of the gentlemen says, yeah, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. And the Penguin just responds, bam. Shoots him. He's dead. Then the other two jump in, and Penguin is able to kill them pretty easily. And as he's wiping down his weapons, they're like, hey, what do you want to do with the bodies? The Penguin says, check this out. He goes and he dumps the bodies in front of Gotham Police Headquarters, kind of like a brag, you know what I mean? And there's Iceberg Lounge playing cards everywhere. So it wouldn't take a detective to figure out that, hey, this is the Iceberg Casino. This clearly happened there. They dumped it here. Not sure why. So the, I want to say city, it's the governor, Carter Winston. I don't know why they say governor here. It doesn't make any sense. He's not governor of the state or whatever the city Gotham is. He's called the governor of the city. So maybe they mean mayor. I'm not sure. So anyway, the Penguin says, hey, you know, I'm going to set up a meeting with this governor guy, and it's going to be great. And they meet up, and Patton Oswald has him, not Patton Oswald, Oswald Cobblepot, who I think Patton Oswald would make a great Penguin, by the way. Oswald Cobblepot has him over, and he's like, listen, Penguin, you know, we're shutting you down, as in, like, there's no way you're going to operate the casino. Well, I've got it under surveillance. Like, we're shutting this thing down. And Penguin's like, hey, man, no problem. Let's toast. Toast to you shutting down my casino. I wouldn't have drank that champagne, but he did. And, of course, he's out like a light. It was poisoned. And the Penguin said, I didn't just poison you, my friend. Check this out. You went and got a lady of the evening, and you killed her. All in your drunken state. And I have all the evidence the police need to put you away right here. And he's like, I'm going to call 911 right now. And the guy says, you can't do this. You can't do this. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to tell you. There's more. You went home and beat up your wife real bad. Here's the video. I happen to have the video. Oh, and here's a bunch of inappropriate text messages you've been sending a bunch of underage interns. Have all the text messages right here, man, right on your phone. And he's like, all this is going to get turned in tomorrow, you know, unless you resign. You need to resign. Can't have you around anymore. So, and this is the part where it gets really dark. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So he gets on there and he's making his press conference, and he's trying to make an announcement of how he's going to get rid of the Iceberg Lounge. And he gets up to the podium and he pulls a gun out and he says, sometimes the bullies get it right, and bang, right on live television. Just ends it. And Oswald says, guess we open tomorrow. And he's got like this yearbook of all these people that have wronged him. And he's kind of put these little newspaper clippings as they come out, even those bullies of my youth. So I guess that the governor may not have recognized him. He kept calling him the Penguin and not, Oswald. So that is the end of this Penguin story. And I really like it because it's kind of dark, and it's probably one of the better Penguin stories in my opinion.
All right, cool. It's interesting how that character has really evolved and has gotten more and more ruthless since the Burgess Meredith days, especially of Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would be remiss in not mentioning, I should have mentioned this before too, when you do watch the first episode of The Penguin, there is an Easter egg for Burgess Meredith in there. And that's just what I'll say. So, and I saw it
at the beginning, the middle, the end.
More towards the end. Not the absolute end, but more 3/4 through. Gotcha. But I didn't, when I saw it in the background, I instantly knew that was an Easter egg for Burgess Meredith. So it was kind of cool to see.
Very cool.
Yeah. So what is really odd too, and I wanted to mention this, back in the 1970s, they released a playset, a Wonder Woman playset called Wonder Woman and the Collapsing Tower. And it was about a bridge that supposedly Penguin blew up. So here's what the box cover looks like there. And when they show on the side there, do you see that it's Penguin there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's Wonder Woman capturing Penguin too. But interesting combination to put those two characters together, because that's not based off of a comic book story or anything.
No, that's neat.
I personally think that the Meagle Company had extra Penguin and Wonder Woman figures from their individual line left over, so that they had manufactured. So they're like, yeah, we'll just throw them together to get rid of some of these. I don't have that in my collection, but man, I sure would love to have that in my collection. So
awesome.
And I wish that there would be some type of tribute cover just to that, even though, like I said, there's not a real comic book that image is based out of or anything. So, but I thought it'd be cool. So, what are your thoughts about the stories we read tonight or shared tonight, and some grades?
Penguin is one of those interesting characters. You know, I don't see him getting a whole lot of attention, but in my head, when I'm reading Penguin stories, who voices your Penguin?
Probably Burgess Meredith.
For me, it's Danny DeVito.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just love Danny DeVito, so I hear him in my head. But yeah, I think these are great stories. Yours was definitely interesting. Mine a little bit more darker. But that just goes to show that you can really adjust a character to go to the dark side a little bit. So overall, I'm just going to give the Penguin a grade. Not necessarily in the stories, but the grade overall as a character, including all the stories, 7 out of 10. I like the Penguin.
Okay, I'll go maybe 8 out of 10 for just a little step up. Like I said, I like how they evolved the character from something that could have stayed as a silly one-off character to a character that really is ruthless and is a killer. And the mob ties, they've really embraced the mob ties to Penguin. So... yeah, it was fun going back, and for me to go back and revisit that book. So, oh my gosh, I didn't say meow to the Jackson Roy Kirk meow. Hope you had a good Catterday, and happy that you're with us here on Sunday for Fanboys Live.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of my grade for that. I just thought it was a fun topic, and you were right. That character doesn't seem to get a lot of individual attention, which is another reason why I wanted Penguin to at least get a focus here on the retro review for Fanboys Live.
For sure.
Yeah. We're up to the book portion show, and before we get started, I'll say that if you have something that you want to share with us as a book show, you can share a cover with us on Instagram. Make sure to use the hashtag Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. If you got some Penguin-oriented stuff, or maybe some Batman for yesterday's Batman Day that you want to share with us, or pretty much anything else DC, we'd love to see it. Just use that hashtag. So, Antonio, what would you like to share? And what would you like to tell us about your channel?
Coming up on the channel, I have a huge signature haul from Baltimore Comic-Con. That's going to be broken down into probably 3 or 4 different episodes. We have a signature haul overall. Jim Lee's getting his own spotlight on my channel, including some of the CBCS books that I submitted are getting their own exclusive video. So stay tuned for that. I was also on Joe's Anoronic Comics Comic Book College of Knowledge, I think is how it says.
Yeah, how did that go?
I aced it. Home run.
Really? That's great.
I got the doctoral degree.
That's great.
So now you can call me Doctor. You have to pick a name at the end. I couldn't pick Dr. King.
yeah, you can't pick that now.
So I picked Dr. Signature. So I'm Dr. Signature.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun. As for a show, I was at Baltimore Comic-Con, and look at the size of this exclusive lithograph you got. 16 by 22. So it's,
wow.
It's Batman themed. And it was the Jim Lee exclusive. He signed all of them. And it is absolutely gorgeous. In fact, I went out and I bought this top loader to go in it because I was like, dude, this is so cool. I want to protect it for as long as I can. So this is the Batman Hush a lithograph and signed by Jim Lee. It's a little faint. It's right here above my finger.
Oh yeah, I see it. Mm-hmm.
So it is looking sharp, very sharp. Love this. I love how it went. Meet Jim Lee was awesome. He was so cool. A lot of his stuff was like stupid expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw this book, it wasn't even signed. They wanted $1,500 for it. Yeah, this is going up on the wall somewhere.
Are you gonna frame it?
I am gonna frame it. I'm gonna get a better frame because of the The one last year I got from Jeff Johns, is already in a frame. So I'm going to keep the tradition alive and frame it, because it is a real signature. I saw him sign it myself. It's not a print or anything. So looking forward to it.
Nice. Sweet. So that covers your channel and your book show then?
Yep, that covers the channel and my book show.
Great.
So book, but it's fine.
I'll tell you what's going on in my channel. Of course, it's the same things that you're familiar with. My back issue of the week YouTube short was a Batman Day themed one this past week. Then I had a comic book editions video that dropped this past week. It was an AOK from Mark Spector Comics. Coming up this week, tomorrow's back issue of the week YouTube short sticks with the theme for tonight. I have a different Penguin comic book that will be spotlight as the back issue of the week. So I look forward to sharing that with you. And my comic book editions video on Tuesday will be Dazzler. It will be an all Dazzler haul. I did one of those not too long ago, a couple months ago, and had enough material to be able to do that, including something I'm excited to share with the community too that I've done. So that will be in the video coming out Tuesday afternoon. Of course, there's links for my channel, for Signature King's channel, and the other fanboys who aren't with us in the description to this video. Make sure to sub them up. If you're not subscribed, and sub up everyone in the live chat. Continue to build this amazing comic book community. As for a book show, I pulled a few different things. So I did this one because there's a couple Batman-related people. There's Penguin and Nightwing on the cover to this Who's Who issue. So I thought that might be fun to show as a book show.
That is neat. I like it.
Yeah. And then I've shown this in the past, but I went back and got this again too. This was a Brazilian Comic-Con exclusive from a few years back.
Ooh,
and there we have Penguin front and center. And this one is actually the only one that they did as a wraparound cover.
I like how there's way more heroes.
Yeah, there are.
There's like 3 villains.
Yeah. 4. But yeah. So I thought that would be fun. And then earlier, we had a question in the chat. I did pick up yesterday's Detective Comics 27 facsimile, which is in the original size that Tech 27 was having. That's pretty big, isn't it?
That's huge.
It is. I Collect a Lot was asking about this earlier. I did pick it up, and it doesn't even fit in a Golden Age size. You have to put it in a magazine size bag and board. These things were flying off the shelf at the store that I was exploring at. So I was looking at them, and I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to get that. And then I'd walk around the store a little bit more. And at one point, I walked back, and there was only 2 left on the shelf. And I thought, I better take mine now. So I did. And they also had the sketch cover version of this as well, which was $1 more. But I passed on the sketch cover version, but I did get this one.
Hey, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So I thought that would be a fun book show. Did they do anything to celebrate Batman Day at the con, or?
Not that I'm aware of. They didn't make any special announcements. I mean, there was people that had Batman merch out, but nothing.
Well, they would have probably had that out anyway. Yeah,
of course.
Anything else you want to share about the con since we have a little extra time, or if I have complete respect if you want to save that for your own channel.
Let me pull a couple of books here.
Okay. For those that are just joining us, Signature King was at Baltimore Comic Con yesterday.
Oh man, let's go with. Okay, here we go. Try not to pull anything crazy. Oh, this is a good one. So this is my first time meeting a bunch of different people. Okay. And one of the people that I met for the first time, and this lady was very nice to me, was G. Willow Wilson.
Oh, nice.
So she signed my Poison Ivy book, and she said this is her by far favorite cover of that run. So of course it's Warren Lau. So yeah, he does everything he does is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that is a great cover.
So
the colors are great on that cover too.
Yeah, they really are. She signed it a really nice silver paint pen.
Yeah.
Sharpie kind of thing. This is a home run. And I had met, I wanted to get Joella Jones. Oh, man. It was 45 minutes to wait in her line. And I finally waited in line. The 45 minutes is up. I'm like, I want to meet this line. No. That was just part of her line. I was like, oh, really? My God. I didn't realize her line was like wrapped all the way around and went all the way down the hall.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm okay.
So you lost 45 minutes at the con in line?
For nothing. I was so mad.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Because normally the Baltimore Comic-Con people will have they'll stand behind whoever's last, say, this guy's last. And they'll have a guy stay in the front that says break. So okay, this is a chunk of the line. They didn't do that for her line. I don't know why. But one thing I think Baltimore did really well, and I really want to shout them out for this, the first thing I did when I got there is I get my tickets and I say, hey, I'm part of the big Jim Lee signing. And I had this where is it? Really cool Jim Lee platinum badge for his platinum signing session. I was like, what time is that? And they're like, oh, right now. At 10 a.m.
Well, it's a good thing you asked.
And I was like, oh, my dear God. So put this on. I run over there. I was like third from the end of the line.
Wow.
And it was just open. That's how long it took people to get checked in and stuff. So, Woof. And there was some mix up with my badge and stuff. So it took a little bit longer than usual to get my stuff. So
How long did you have to wait in line, even though you had the guaranteed tickets to get into him?
Even though I was towards the end of the line, I still had to wait, probably an hour.
Okay.
But I didn't know that because the line was moving at the same time. So I thought I was going to get in and get out. But getting it done first thing in the morning, oh, that was so cool. Yeah,
it's a big relief off your shoulders.
Yeah, because no offense, I really didn't care about the panel that he was doing. I didn't want to do that. I had way too many signatures I wanted to get. I didn't have that kind of time. So it was fun. Jim Lee's a really nice guy. No offense to him. It's a little bit shorter than I thought he was going to be. Yeah. I knew he's a little short. But.
We were talking in the group chat because you shared your picture, and we're like, you look like a giant next to him.
Oh, yeah. My friend Mike that I met, he's even bigger than me. He's easy. He's got to be 6'5", 6'7". He had to have been a foot and some change taller than Jim Lee. Oh, yeah. Man. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, this was a great con. Definitely a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Did they have a lot of comic book exhibitors selling back issues and stuff?
Tons.
They did. That's good.
Tons. Yeah, that's the problem though. Is I only had one day. I haven't been to Baltimore Comic Con multiple days since 2017. I think was the last time. So it's about time I'm overdue to hit a VIP badge and just relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Not stress out about line times, and I can just dump stuff back at the hotel and come back.
Yeah.
It was fun, but yeah, it was so much fun meeting everybody. And of course, Southern Comic Book Geek is really big in original art, and he's picking up some really nice art pieces. It was fun to meet him and look at his collection.
I feel so appreciative that I got the original art that I got at the time I got it, because I can't afford it. It's not in the budget anymore because it's so exploded in prices. I mean, single pages go for a third more than my cover went for at that time. So, I mean, even though I got this a long time ago, it's still blows my mind. It's wait a minute, this is just a splash page and it's $350 more than what my cover cost,
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, but the covers now are, 4 to 6 times more than what they used to be.
Yeah, so I'm going to start collecting these badges now. I got all this bling.
You'll have access to everything.
Yeah, right? It's does this one work? How about this one? How about this one? Yep. This one, maybe? One of these will get me in. I feel Michael Phelps.
Was Tom King there?
He was.
Did he have a huge line?
He only did one signing on Saturday, and they put a cap on it. And if you weren't actively standing in line, there was no way you were going to do it. His line got capped in about 45 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, just, okay, we're opening the thing, and we're done. We've hit our limit. Okay. I hate it so much because it makes me choose between who I want. You know what I mean? I don't want to choose. But I remember back in the day, everyone would just, if you were there, he was signing all day. All day. But now he's got panel. Now he's got to leave the convention because he's got a private signing down here. Panel, signing over here in Baltimore. He's like, you're not really a guest if you're not there all day.
Yeah.
He's there for like a tiny chunk of time.
I wish that some of these vendors that take the artists away from the private signing, I either wish the talent would come in a day early and do all of that off-site or off public time and let the public have that time, you know?
Yeah, because Baltimore runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What I would do is I would have all my panels on Friday. You know, that's it's open the least amount of time. You know what I mean? Let's get all these panels out of the way, and then Saturday, Sunday for the fans. You know what I mean?
Or all of the vendors, you know, ask your talent to come in on Thursday and then knock it out. You know, I don't know. They probably wouldn't, but
the coolest cat that I met this year is probably other than Jim Lee, Josh Swaby.
Oh, Swaby, yeah.
Swaby. I knew he was gonna beat it, but I'd never seen him before. I didn't really look like. But like, dude, he looks just like a chill dude. He's signing some of my stuff. I was like, hey man, I think you're really talented. I really enjoy your work. He's like, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. just like a really cool dude about it. Like, awesome, man. Stephanie Williams was a really nice lady. I got to meet her. Very, very nice. I loved her stuff. Got to chat with Dan Jurgens again. It was nice to see him. Always nice and approachable. So, quick horror story. There was one horror story. I was hanging out with CBCS and I was getting something witnessed to sign. If you notice, there's something missing right here. And I know what it is. I won't say, but I know what it is. I was getting them finished. I was finishing up what I needed. And me and another individual were going with the witness. And I get in the booth and he said, hey, are these witness? Because he saw the CBCS guy. And I said, yep, absolutely. I understand it's extra money. I'm okay with that. Here's the cash for it. Thank you for signing my books. And he signs my books and he looks at the other guy and he's like, witness? And I'm talking to the CBCS guy. And the other guy who was with us, he said, no, these aren't witnessed. And he signed the books. And the CBCS guy picked them up. And the artist was like very confused. Like, I thought you said these weren't witnessed. And the CBCS guy, yeah, he came to my booth. Like, these are witnessed. And the guy was like trying to backpedal. He's like, And finally, the CBCS guy figured out that this guy tried to pull a fast one. He didn't want to pay like the $90 or $100 he owed this guy. And CBCS guy like put his foot down immediately. He's like, you either need to pay this man his money or all these are going to be unauthenticated and you're going to have to pay to re-authenticate them through the verified signature program. And it's going to be probably twice the price.
Wow. And
finally, he choked over the cash and paid him. And then we went back to the booth and CBCS is like really upset at this guy. They're just scolding him. And I was like, good for them. Good for them. I don't feel bad for him at all. He's a jerk about it. So,
but this was no one you knew or anything, right?
I've never met this person before.
Good. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
So, guilty.
Don't you hate that when that happens, even around you, because you're like, I'm not associated with them.
Yeah, I made it very clear. Like, hey, these are witnessed. Here's my cash. Thank you so much. And then when the shindig went down, I was like,
not me.
I don't know you, man.
Not me, Buckaroo.
And it was nice to see CBCS stand up for the artists. You know, they could have easily just said, that's not my problem, and just went back.
Yeah.
They made sure that relationship was there. And so hats off to CBCS for doing the right thing.
Yeah. So we got about a minute left in today's show. And next week for the Retro Review, it's going to be your pick. Do you have any idea yet what direction you're going, or is that something you got to think about?
I have given it zero thought.
I'm sure.
Yeah, too busy at the con.
Yeah.
Con brain.
Yeah, but just tune in next week to find out exactly what we'll be retro reviewing for the greatest DC comic show on YouTube, Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. Anything else you want to talk about for the next 40 seconds?
Hey, the Vikings won, so we're in Green Bay next week. So very fun.
Well, that's going to make it pretty awkward between us next week then.
It is. But I enjoy the sport, so it's nothing more fun than a rivalry.
All right. Have a great week, Signature King. Have a great week to everyone who watched. If you watched all the way to the end, we certainly do appreciate it, especially on the rewind. Thank you to all of our live chatters as well. It's been the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. This has been Fanboys Live and the Retro Review. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next week. Until then, take care. Say goodbye.
Bye.